Lettuce is one of my absolute favorite things to grow, mainly because we use so much of it. We use it in like almost every dish that we make, not just salads. So things like tacos, or I'll put it, believe it or not, I put it on top of pizza. I put a salad on top of a pizza. We put it in our rice bowls that we make, or Buddha bowls that we make. We use it in a lot of different ways. And so salad or lettuce is like one of my all-time favorite things to grow. So the problem with growing lettuce is that in Florida during the summer, it's very, very hard to grow lettuce, especially outside. However, I do have a little cheat that I do with my arrow garden where I grow lettuce inside. Take a look at the video that I posted previously on how to grow lettuce in your arrow garden inside during the summer. But I did want to kind of touch on a few of the plants that I have found that have worked out for me in terms of a salad green during the summer. Now I know there's lots of different greens that you can grow. I have many of them in my garden, but not necessarily things that I would use for a salad. Things that I might add to it, you know, like the kales or the Egyptian spinaches, those kinds of, or the sweet potato leaves. All of those things would work, but having a whole bowl of them feels so foreign to the typical salad that you're used to during our fall and winter months. So I wanted to first show you, this one is my favorite, and this is a Tokyo Bekana, and I'll put all of the names of these items in the description, but this is a Tokyo Bekana, and it is actually, if you see from the bottom here, it's actually like kind of like a cabbage, a Chinese cabbage, like a bok choy, but it handles the heat like you would not believe. It is so mild in tasting and has such big leaves, and they're not wimpy either. They have some crunch to them, and with the stem that we have here, you get even more of that romaine type lettuce. Now they get eaten alive, as you can see, but if I keep clipping them and clipping them, they just keep growing and growing. It does not seem to matter how hot it gets or how much rain it does. So this is one of my favorites. Another one I really like is Jericho or Manoa. Manoa is like a Hawaiian lettuce that they grow out obviously in Hawaii, and I like these two, but they do bolt. They will bolt. But if you succession plant, you're gonna keep getting leaves out of it that are more like salad greens. And they do take longer to bolt, especially if you put them in a shady area. So those are definitely ones you want to put. You can put them in your green stalks, you can put them in containers, put them in a shady bed that you might have, and they will hold out a lot longer than any other lettuce that I have seen, and that is your typical lettuce. The next one I have, and I'm not even going to attempt the name, but it reminds me of chimichangas, the name, but once again, I'll put it in the description. This one is a really bright green, almost like a spinach type lettuce. It reminds me so much of spinach, but it once again is a type of Chinese cabbage, like your bok choys or your pak choys. And it does superb. It does take up quite a bit of room, which is great. I don't mind that at all. I mean, it does need 1 square foot for it to grow to its full potential, and just like the Tokyo, it will get eaten up quite aggressively, but just keep harvesting from it and harvesting from it, and it still has not bolted for me. The last one is the Cranberry Hibiscus, and earlier I had mentioned that I like my salad greens in the summer to be more like lettuce, and this is probably one that is not like lettuce. I wouldn't have a whole bowl of it, but I would definitely not exclude this one from your list. The cranberry hibiscus is from the hibiscus family. It is a red-leafed hibiscus plant. It does make pretty flowers. It actually looks a lot like your roselles in the type of flowers it produces, but the flowers are not like the calyx of the flowers are not edible like a roselle. But the leaves themselves are outstanding. They remind me of a cranberry or citrusy type flavor, and I love the color contrast of the red against the typical yellow lettuces, and that unique citrusy flavor that it adds to a salad. So even though I wouldn't have a whole bowl of the cranberry hibiscus, I definitely put a lot in my salads. So now what you have is you have crunchy lettuce, softer loose leaf lettuce from the Jericho, and then you have, you know, mixes of the citrus and red cranberry hibiscus, and then hit it with the spinach substitute over here. And this is a salad that, no lie, doesn't even need dressing. It is just so flavorful. So if you're looking for true salad greens from your garden during summer, definitely give these guys a shot because they are the best. Make sure you hit subscribe so that you don't miss any of my future videos.